Welcome to the Rewriting Naruto series, a series of videos where I'll be rewriting the Naruto series in chronological order, changing, deleting, and including things I find would improve the series for my personal taste. I am in no way, shape, or form claiming that I could have done a better job writing Naruto than Kishimoto. After all, what I'm doing here is just building up upon a great series that he developed and that's already been established. And Kishimoto had to come up with a new manga chapter every single week, and not only with his story, but he also had to draw the art. He did a fantastic job. But I like to imagine this series as a what-if scenario when I have a time machine and go back in the past, and I'm chosen to be Kishimoto's editor when he is starting the series. With the knowledge that I have now of how the series spanned out until the end and how characters progressed and all that, what would I change to make the series even better and to make things fit? Also, if there is a plot point, character, story beat, or arc that I don't mention here, assume it should remain the same as in the original. Before we begin, however, like the video and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next videos in this series. It also makes me smile a lot, so we all win. Alright, let's go. Chapter 1 starts pretty much the same way it did in the original. We learn about Naruto and the Kyuubi and the 4th Hokage sacrifice, and we also learn that Naruto is a loner hated by the entire village for being the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. However, Naruto knows Minato is his dad and has a deep resentment towards his father for turning him into the recipient of the Nine Tails. We can see Naruto defacing the Hokage faces in Konoha, but he is especially mean to the 4th Hokage. He also has a vague understanding about the Nine Tails itself. He knows there is some sort of demon or monster inside of him, and that's why most of the people really despise him, but that's about what he knows. The people in the village are even meaner to Naruto, and Naruto himself also despises the village for treating him the way they do, unlike the original, which he just seems to be sad. So in this rewrite, not only is Naruto sad, but he's also a lot angrier. We can also see scenes of Naruto just being shouted by the villagers, and when he gets angry and shout back at them, they get afraid of him and leave, and after they leave, scared of Naruto, we can see Naruto's sad expression of being just lonely. And also include a scene where Naruto sees a kid playing with his mom or dad, and then Naruto just looks envious and sad about his own life when he sees a kid who has a parent. I think these changes improve a couple of things. First, I've always found it weird that Naruto didn't know more about his past. People would definitely talk about this, and he would eventually learn details, even if it's not much. Also, Naruto knowing he is Minato's son will give some interesting storytelling opportunities, and let's be real, the reveal about Minato was kind of underwhelming anyway in the original because it was just a conversation between Jiraiya and Tsunade and they're just talking about it, and when Naruto learns that Minato is his dad, we, the audience, already knew about it, so it wasn't that impactful anyway. However, when Naruto finally meets the dad he's always resented in this series, that could definitely be interesting. Moving on, Naruto is caught by Iruka for defacing the Hokage statues, and Iruka brings Naruto directly to Hiruzen, the 3rd Hokage. That is when we learn about Naruto's dad, and that Naruto hates the 4th Hokage because he is screaming it in front of Hiruzen, saying that the Hokage deserve to be defaced. He also says he will become the strongest Hokage to show the village he doesn't need them, and that he can get strong by himself, and also he says he'll become a Hokage just to show his dad that even though he gave Naruto a terrible life, he won't be chained by what his father determined. And this is Naruto's main character flaw that he'll have to overcome. He believes that becoming a Hokage is more like a revenge thing, like I am gonna show you how much better than you I can be, when he has to learn that becoming a Hokage has to do with actually protecting the people in the village and caring for everyone. But he can only do that once he lets go of his feelings of hatred and starts to be more compassionate towards them. Hiruzen naturally defends Minato, saying he was a great man, and we can see Hiruzen is very kind to Naruto, even though Naruto is being a prick. He then offers Naruto to go live with him more comfortably because he knows Naruto lives in bad conditions, and he also says that's what Minato would have wanted. The way this conversation goes implies that Hiruzen made this offer countless times before, but Naruto refused every time. This makes Hiruzen look less of an a-hole for not taking proper care of Naruto, and gives Naruto more agency as a character because he essentially says he would rather die than be chained by another Hokage. With this scene, we can see Naruto's character flaws very visibly, but also empathize with him and the third Hokage as well. Continuing with chapter 1, everything goes about the same in the original with one small exception. When Naruto uses his 1,000 shadow clones to defeat Mizuki, we can see his eyes changing to the classic Kyuubi eyes and his whiskers get more pronounced. I mean, come on, we hyped up the Nine Tails during the entire chapter, so we have to somehow give it a payoff. That would also explain why Naruto can create so many shadow clones in that fight, and why he doesn't do it all the time to win all of his fights, because he needs the Kyuubi chakra to make so many clones at this point of the story. Moving on to chapter 2, well, this chapter gets deleted, alongside Konohamaru and Ebisu, which are two completely useless characters in the grand scheme of things. Really, they don't have any development at all, and they just get in the way of the story. Instead, chapter 2 will focus on Sasuke, the second most important character in the series. We'll see Sasuke's life from his own perspective, and we'll see that he is completely alone as well, like Naruto. People don't hate Sasuke like they do hate Naruto, but they pity Sasuke, which infuriates him nonetheless. Sasuke doesn't want pity, he wants his revenge. Still, Sasuke remains very stoic and doesn't let his anger transpire that he doesn't like when people pity him, because he's very proud, and we know that. We don't get details about the Uchiha massacre here, we just know Sasuke doesn't have a family and is very alone, and that people pity him a lot. People of his age still idolize him like Sakura and Ino, but he feels completely useless and undeserved of this idolatry, and he feels just very guilty of his past, that he was weak and couldn't do anything, that he was helpless, and that's why he doesn't think he should be idolized by anyone. The only person that shows feelings other than idolatry or pity towards Sasuke is Naruto, who has an adversarial relationship with him, and it's a very unique thing for Sasuke. In this chapter, we can see that even though Naruto and Sasuke are rivals and act as though they hate each other, they want to get closer to each other deep down, but they just don't know how. It seems like the two of them are the only ones who can understand each other, but their pride doesn't let them become friends outright. Include a scene where Naruto provokes Sasuke in that early part 1 childish way, and Sasuke just plays cool, dismissing Naruto and just owning him with words. Naruto leaves pissed off, but then we cut to Sasuke and he has a subtle smile on his face. After that, there will be only a couple of changes in the Bell Test arc. First, cut Naruto and Sasuke's kiss. Even though there's an amazing joke in Shippuden about that, many potential viewers just drop the series because of that. And I just find it kinda stupid and cheap. Another scene we are cutting out is the scene where Sasuke is quote-unquote captured by Naruto. Just don't do that. It's important that Naruto doesn't beat Sasuke here for the purposes of the narrative I'm trying to build. Also, during the Bell Test itself, Kakashi taunts Naruto, saying that his dad was much better than him, much more talented, and Kakashi can also say that Minato was his teacher, and when Naruto learns that, he gets even more pissed at Kakashi and tries to beat him up, but of course he is just humiliated. The rest of the Bell Test remains the same, and it is a great mini-arc. After that, we get a quick montage of Team 7 going on low-level missions that would be paired up with a good old Sasuke-Naruto rivalry, with Naruto trying to one-up Sasuke in every opportunity he gets, and every time he fails miserably. Also, Naruto does that trying to catch Sakura's attention. In this rewrite, Naruto has a crush on Sakura mostly because of his rivalry with Sasuke. He wants to beat Sasuke in every way possible, and getting the girl who likes Sasuke would be a perfect way to assert his dominance. We can see that theme again of Sasuke and Naruto both wanting to become friends, closer to each other, but their ego getting in the way during this montage. So now we begin begin the Land of Waves arc. The first change happens when Kakashi shows his Sharingan. Sasuke should be pissed off about that and would confront Kakashi after the fight is done as to how he has a Sharingan. Kakashi tells Sasuke an old friend gave it to him, calming Sasuke down, and Kakashi also says that when Sasuke gets his Sharingan, he'll be able to teach him better how to use it than anyone. This could be the start of a more developed relationship between Sasuke and Kakashi would serve as a father figure to Sasuke, albeit the relationship wouldn't be as on the nose as Naruto and Jiraiya. I think developing a deeper bond between the two of them is important, and it will be even more tragic when Sasuke leaves the village. In a similar way, Naruto also confronts Kakashi about him having been one of Minato's students, and Kakashi tells some stuff about Minato to Naruto, because even though Naruto kinda resents Minato, he is still very curious about his dad and about what he can do. So Kakashi tells Naruto about some of Minato's exploits, about his legendary speed, and that he was known as the Yellow Flash of the Leaf. It's a good place to get some of the lore about Minato, and also for Naruto to find some stuff out about his dad and keep that connection going. The next change happens in the scene where Naruto and Sasuke are trying to climb the trees using chakra. It goes pretty much the same way it did in the original, but when they both succeed, Sasuke simply says, "Good job, loser," in that cool yet shy way of his. Naruto grins and says, "You too." This is the first time they are acknowledging each other as friends. Of course, we get more mentions of Naruto resenting his father and that he will become the Hokage throughout this arc as well. Sakura remains useless, but we can include a scene where Sasuke may begin to develop feelings for her. It could be something subtle, very quick, like when they go out to buy food in the Land of Waves town. Maybe they can have an awkward interaction where Sasuke may start seeing Sakura with other eyes, but of course he doesn't say anything, and Sakura obviously sims non-stop for Sasuke. We have to develop the romance more here, because in the original Sasuke has literally no reason for liking Sakura as far as anyone can tell. Sakura has a childhood crush on him, which is understandable, but these feelings can develop and become deeper over time. The rest of the arc remains the same, as the Land of Waves arc is just very solid. When they go back to Konoha though, we get a scene where Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are walking. Maybe they are going to Ichiraku to celebrate their first A-rank mission, and a couple of Chunin stop them and start to harass Naruto. Naruto gets pissed off, of course, but Sasuke steps in and activates his Sharingan, saying, "Got a problem, friend?" and he intimidates the two Chunin, and then they go away, essentially protecting Naruto. Naruto gets pissed at Sasuke for jumping in, and he says he had everything under control. Sasuke just responds, "Whatever, loser," but deep down, Naruto is really happy Sasuke did that for him. Sakura also shows concern for Naruto and asks if he's okay, and he acts all macho around her as always. We then get a heartwarming scene of the three of them eating ramen, cementing the start of their friendship to close the arc. And that's the beginning of the rewrite. Tell me in the comments what you think, and like this video if you found the ideas I threw in interesting. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next videos in this series, and watch the next video right here. Next time I'll actually have a completely new arc. It's gonna be cool, so subscribe, come on! Thanks for watching.